G'day, D.W. Pastor Barry here. I'm having a very late start to this annual video. Don't know how much of my voice I'm going to have left for it, but it is still New Year's Day, so I'm carrying on with my tradition. I just changed my shirt just to look decent for this video. New Year's Day 2025. Is it, as I usually title it, Happy New Year 2025 with a question mark, which is probably the same title I'm going to use here. I have prayed about this video, and as far as I know, unlike last year for New Year's, I don't think I have seen very much concerning what's coming in the new year. Last year I saw that many people, God would be taking many church people home to be with him. And in 2024, that absolutely happened. One of my best friends growing up lost his father. The other friend, actually, I think it was, I'm trying to remember the two, it might have been 2022 or some in 2023, I can't remember now. Yeah, 2023, had already lost his parents. But 2024, my friend growing up, he lost one. Was a good man. I remember him when I was a child. We used to go over to my friend's house, and depending on what we were doing, the dad would be involved. His name was Al, and he was really funny guy. He actually looked a lot like Ned Flanders off of The Simpsons, looked almost exactly like him. So he was gone, and then some other gentlemen and people that I knew growing up in the church, different churches, but good Christian people, they all passed away in 2024. So the Lord definitely was revealing things to me back in 2023 for 2024, and it happened. Now it's 2025. What can I say about the last year that's just passed? Instead of learning a whole lot, I'm just trying to remember, Lord, just bring back the memories of what had happened last year. I was reminded of a lot of things in 2024, things that I used to know. I probably learned some lessons. I'm just trying to think of what they would be. It's late here. We were in the hospital today because somebody had fallen down their stairs, and could have been extremely serious. Thank God that it wasn't. It doesn't sound like it's too bad. So being at the hospital for like 3 hours or so, our pastor and his wife were there. We were watching kids. It was very tiresome when I got home. I was so tired. I waited about half an hour, then hit the bed, and I woke up just after 11 p.m. tonight, like less than an hour ago. So my head's I'm still waking up here. My brain, usually I get a lot of things done on New Year's Day. It didn't happen. I worked. Something that happened in 2024, started for us, was that we got to start working. And I make a fraction of the money that we make. We go to Walmart and sometimes other places to do certain jobs. I like keeping a little mystery to it. So like I said, I make a little bit of money. It pays the bills. One thing I can say for 2024 is that donations were probably at an all-time high as far as being low or non-existent. 2023 was bad. 2024 was even worse. And I think we can look at what's happening in the government. And even though God's people are not supposed to be paying so much attention to what's going on in the world, yeah, we're to be watchful and whatnot. But just because the economy's bad doesn't mean we stop trusting God with our finances. People should be giving to their local assemblies first. And then if there are ministries that people know of, that God leads people to give to, they should do that. And last year, it just wasn't happening. I can probably think of 5 or less people who did give on and off during last year for ministry work. But like I said, in all the times I've been in ministry, it was probably the worst. 2024 was bad for that. But since we have President Donald Trump, who's supposed to be getting in this month, maybe the economy will change and people will feel more generous. I don't know. But here's the thing about 2025, and this is what I wanted to get to. This is all about 2025. Is it going to be a happy 2025? Let me say this first so it's out of the way. Despite the trouble that I know is coming this year, I'm still optimistic. I'm not fearful. I'm not anxious. I'm going to trust God with whatever happens. Do I think that President Donald Trump is going to be able just to waltz into the White House without any problems? I don't believe that he will. I think there's going to be, let's call it a spiritual war, a spiritual fight. I believe there's going to be a spiritual fight involved. The church needs to be praying and fasting. The holidays are now over pretty much, so I got to get back to my fasting. We enjoyed a wonderful New Year's Eve meal last night. Turkey, ham, potato stuffing, all the stuff that we would eat on Christmas or Thanksgiving we had last night. So a lot of great meals from end of November to the end of December. I'm up to 293 pounds now, the most I've ever weighed in my life. It's crazy. But I got to get back to my fasting because this is war. People need to be reminded that we are in a war. We need to be praying against the plans of the enemy because we have to be reminded, as I was last year, that prayer changes things. Our prayers change the direction of governments, change the direction of people's lives. That's why I love that book by Derek Prince, Shaping History Through Prayer and Fasting. Good book. I recommend that you check it out. It was evidence in that book of how a Christian, a righteous person living right before the Lord, prayed and fasted and helped to shape the events of the past for the future. I think it's a great mistake for the church to be asleep now, to just think we can coast into a new government administration. You don't understand the hour that we're in, if that's your attitude. Something I know is that Satan has a plan. He has an ace up his sleeve. I will not pretend to know what that is. In my mind, I think we're probably headed for a type of civil strife. There's been division in America for several years because of the spirits, the principalities and other spirits that have been assigned to the nation in the different states now. I've known about that for years. I have that in my journal. In fact, I can probably tell you the week, maybe even the day that the enemy's minions got together and did ceremonies to have these spirits put into place over the country, to bring division in the church, division between ethnicity, just division in general. I don't think America has been this divided for a long time. And if you're not on social media, then you wouldn't know that. You should see a lot of the videos that are out there. I'm not trying to get into all that. The point is, America is not unified. The people are very much divided. So that's something that I've not necessarily seen spiritually. It's not like it's been a revelation to me from the Lord. It's just what I'm physically seeing. We're seeing the invisible spiritual aspect of it have a physical result. Don't forget, whatever happens in the physical happens in the spiritual first. One of my friends in the Lord, a close friend of mine, he had seen recently that there was a lot of spiritual darkness closing in. And the day after he told me that, there were 2 days in Jonesboro where there was a great fog. I rest my case. Darkness closing in the spirit, manifesting in the physical. A lot of tornadoes and hurricanes and thunderstorms and things of that nature are the result of spiritual battles that manifest in the physical. Did you know that? When you start to understand and see spiritual things, you can't unsee them. You can't unlearn them. I believe America is headed for a very big spiritual storm. That's why right now, as you watch this video, whenever you watch it, you need to be a Christian that is a praying Christian, interceding for the church, for the lost ones, for the nation, for the leaders. If the leaders are evil, it doesn't matter. We still got to pray for them. And for Donald Trump coming in, this is what I want to tell people. I've heard this from other religious speakers that I trust or give any credence to, they say to pray for Donald Trump's counsel. Pray for the people who are around him, that God would expose the Judases around him. He needs good Christian people around him to help give him guidance, because the wrong people are going to lead this nation to destruction. That is what we're facing now. And Donald Trump isn't even in yet. We got 20 days until he's in. So I see some type of, whether it's civil strife or even foreign war, coming to America very soon. Will that war actually be this year? I don't know. And the same brother that I was speaking about last year, he gave a word, which I believe to be extremely accurate. The Lord showed him that America still has some bumpy things to go through. There's going to be some bad things still to happen. But when all is said and done, there is going to be a powerful move of God. I've said it since 2017. There's going to be a great revival, perhaps such as the world has never seen. Do I know the timing of this? No. Could it be this year? Maybe. Could it be next year? Probably even more likely. I don't know when it's going to happen. But mark my words, there is going to be a great move of God. And then you get people saying, well, show me that in the Bible. Well, show me in the Bible where there were any modern day revivals talked about. Yes, there's going to be a great falling away, and I do believe I know what that means. Let me just sum it up instead of getting into it. I believe the great falling away is directly connected to many people who have been traditionally taught when the rapture is going to take place, the rapture, the taking out of the church. I believe that most people have been taught wrong, as I was. And then when it doesn't happen when they think it should, and when trouble and certain things come to the earth, those Christians will start to question everything they've been taught, because that rapture didn't happen when they wanted to. And then a great falling away will follow that. That's what I believe. I strongly do not believe that I'm wrong in that. People will start to question everything they were ever taught because they didn't get out of any trouble that was coming. That's the problem with the Western church. We haven't seen the trials and tribulations of other Christians in other nations where they have been imprisoned, beaten, or killed for their faith. That's never happened in North America the way it's happened over there. Could you imagine when it starts happening here and we're still here? Everyone's going to start thinking, well, I thought we were going to get out of all this trouble. Why are we still here? Then they question everything they were ever taught. I believe that's going to come at some point. Will it come this year? I don't know. I can openly admit to you that God has not revealed to me very much of anything for this year. Not like he did last year. But like I said, I'm still optimistic. I'm still believing that God is going to have a move of some sort. Whether that great revival begins this year, I don't know. But I'm still hopeful. I'm still optimistic that good things are going to come this year, despite the trouble that will also come. I don't know what it is. Normally, I remember 2 years ago when I started doing these types of videos, I was very inside. I might not have confessed it, but I was very pessimistic. I was thinking 2023 is probably not going to be that great. 2024, I had no idea. Now here I am in 2025 expecting really bad stuff to happen, and yet I feel very optimistic. Why is that? That's the only significant thing that I can tell you right now. I feel strong in the faith. I'm feeling the pull to get back into the Word like never before and to start praying again and fasting like never before. Kind of like when I first came back to the Lord. It's almost 12 years ago now. It'll be 12 years ago this spring that I've been back with the Lord Jesus Christ with absolutely no regrets whatsoever. I'm really happy about that too. So take from this video what you will. I'm sorry that I don't have a lot of insight, but I'm just being honest with you. God really hasn't showed me very much for 2025. And you know what you do in times like that when you don't feel God speaking or showing you things? you trust him day by day, our daily bread, trusting and praying every single day. I could tell you amazing stories of moves of God in our favor, our ministry, and here personally in our home, where the enemy tried to do things and God stopped it. In fact, something just happened a week ago. I'm not going to tell you what it was, but the enemy had physically planned to do something. And God put a stop to it supernaturally. So my point is, I have to trust God every single day for my protection. I pray for that protection every single day. When we're out working, driving on these roads, the way people drive around here, man, thank God for prayer, because I know God is keeping us safe. We've almost been hit on the road by big tractor trailers, and we've hit curbs and other things. It's an everyday thing. Trusting the Lord, learning to pray for your family every day. Pray protection over your family, over your friends, over your pastor and his family, over your church family. 2025, this is what I know God wants. He wants more people praying again. He wants more people rooted and grounded in love and rooted and grounded in the truth, hating what is evil. As some pastors have said, in 2025, you're going to see more lies I have to be careful with my words because I'll get flagged and then the video will be removed. So I'm not going to say who, by who. Wherever you hear types of news, even by word of mouth from people, be very discerning what you hear. That's what I'm going to tell you. There is a reason why the TikTok app is dangerous. I'm not saying it's dangerous for us, but there's a reason why they're trying to shut it down. It's because it provides a lot of information that you can't hear in other places. There's a reason for that. People need to wake up and see it. So you need to start falling in love with the truth and start hating what is evil. You have to start discerning when you hear a lie or when you hear the truth. Such are the times we live in now. In my 46 years, I've never lived in a time like this, and you probably haven't either. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, then it's time to smell the coffee and wake up. You really need to. I'm not trying to be sarcastic, condescending. I'm telling you about the spiritual time that we're in now. This is very important. I'm not really sure what else I can add to all of this. God keeps showing me lessons. I'm learning more and more how God will allow things like he allowed with Job to shape our walk, to make us more patient, to make us more reliant on the Lord, to knock down our pride, to keep us humble and relying on God and knowing that he is our provider, he is our protector, he is our counselor, our comforter, he is the Prince of Peace. Study your Bible to learn the character of God, because we're going to need to cling and hold on to him now more than ever. I'm not scared for 2025. I'm not even nervous. And I have a good imagination, and I can think of a lot of things that can happen this year. But I'm not afraid. You know why? Because I know who holds my tomorrow, and his name is Jesus Christ. I know him, I have a good relationship with him, and I can always have a better one, and I want to grow it and make it better, and hopefully you do too. If you don't know Jesus, I encourage you now. Believe in what he did at the cross. He died for your sin and rose again 3 days later. He can save you, he can heal you, he can set you free of the spiritual bondages you have, but you need to have a relationship, and you need it immediately. I'm going to let you guys go. Don't have much of a voice left. God bless. Happy New Year. And I will see you down the trail.